Great. Okay. So this is the info session for Japan. Hopefully everybody is on the right call. We do have a call in another hour for South Korea, but we'll talk about Japan first. So we are headed to Japan in June, so the 19th to 25th of this year, and then we'll offer a similar trip again in 2027. But right now for Japan, we do only have two spots left on the 2026 tour, but we're happy to answer any questions. Even if you're not interested in 2026, we can always talk about 2027 as well. So, in terms of highlights, the highlights for this trip are a few things. First, we're going to spend the whole week with our base and our hotel in Tokyo. So it's really nice because we get to explore a lot of different parts of Tokyo. We'll have a guided tour around many of the different shrines and temples. And you'll also have a free day in Tokyo to explore the museums, the shopping, some of the markets, more on your own. We're also going to do several day trips, one of which is a day trip to Kamakura, which is about an hour train ride outside of Tokyo towards the ocean, so a bit further to the east. And Kamakura is known for this incredible hydrangea bloom that happens every June. So we're going to be going to a temple that is literally covered in hydrangeas. So if you're a flower person, a garden person, while Japan in the June is a little bit rainier, it's also the most amazing time for all of the different flowers and hydrangeas. Everything is super lush and tropical. Then we're going to be doing a private traditional tea ceremony as part of our guided tour, as well as some other really unique cultural activities throughout. And that'll be a big highlight. And then we'll also do a Mount Fuji and Hakone day trip. So this is Lake Hakone, which is right at the base of Mount Fuji. And we'll have the chance to go up to Hakone, wander around some of the temples and the historic cities and villages there, as well as hopefully be very lucky in getting these really beautiful views of Mount Fuji. So, um, we have a trip itinerary overview. So the 19th, you will arrive to Tokyo. There is no activity until the welcome dinner this evening. The 20th is when we do our Tokyo City tour. We'll see the Meiji Shrine, which is one of the most sort of famous temples. We'll see Shibuya Crossing, which is the really famous huge intersection that's like the largest pedestrian intersection in the world. We'll see it both from the ground, and then we'll go up into one of the buildings so you can get like the bird's eye view of all of the people crossing. We'll also see Asakusa, which is another really beautiful shrine and temple. And then we'll do throughout at one of the shrines today, we'll do our private tea ceremony. So you'll have the chance to learn all about matcha and the preparation of it. Then the 21st, we will take our day trip to Kyoto. It's both the trip itself is part of the fun. We're going to take the bullet train. So it turns what would be like a 6 or 7 hour car ride into less than 2.5 hours by bullet train. We will then have our guide and driver take us around to the most important sites. Kinkaku is one of the, again, really beautiful shrines. The Ashirayama is the bamboo forest that you see a lots of photos for, where it also has the red and black sort of gate and temple. And then finally, we'll learn a little bit about the different districts of Kyoto, including the Geisha district. We'll then take the bullet train back to Tokyo in the late afternoon, getting in, we'll have bento boxes for dinner. So one of the traditional things in Japan to do is that you get a bento box, which is kind of like a Japanese lunchbox, filled with different foods, and we'll eat that on the train as our dinner and then get back to Tokyo probably around 9 p.m. this night. The 22nd is the day we're going to go to the Hydrangea Temple and explore Kamakura. There's also a great Buddha statue that is really incredible to visit, and we'll even stick our toes into the other side of the Pacific, right? So if you go to California, that is one side of the Pacific. We'll stick our toes into the Pacific Ocean on the Japanese side. The 23rd is your free day in Tokyo. We always provide lots of recommendations for what to do on the free day, but it's yours to do with it as you please. We'll have no activities until dinner that evening as a group once again together. There's tons of museums, there's great shopping, there's markets. Maybe you want to do another, day trip somewhere. There's lots of options, and once you're booked on the trip, we provide lots of guidance on what you can do for this free day. And if you need assistance booking anything, we can always help. And then finally, the 24th is our last full day, and we will do our Mount Fuji and Hakone day trip. So again, we'll head out of the city with our guide. We'll explore the Hakone village and then get some great views of Mount Fuji coming back in the late afternoon. And the 25th is your departures. So you can depart anytime you want to. And then obviously, some women are combining our Japan and South Korea tours. So if you are doing that, this would be the day that we will fly as a group from Tokyo to Seoul. We are staying at the Park Hotel Tokyo, which is where we've stayed the last few years. We really like it. First, it's super conveniently located in the Shinbashi area, which has a large train station that's well connected to all over Tokyo. As part of this trip, you will get on that first guided tour day of Tokyo a Passmo, which is the card that you can use to travel on any of the public transit throughout Tokyo, trains, subways, etc. And we preload it with money so that on your free day, when you want to go and explore, you already know how to navigate the Tokyo subway system and you have a card prepaid that will let you get around Tokyo. So this is a really convenient hotel because literally 2 minutes walking is this major, super well connected train station, subway station. Um, we also love the hotel rooms. They're all individually decorated by local artists, and on each floor, there's a theme, and again, local art throughout the whole hotel. So it's kind of like staying in a museum. And it's on the 24th through the 40th floors of one of the large skyscrapers in Tokyo. And so you have really good views of the whole city, either out towards the sort of Imperial Palace and Park or the other side of the hotel faces out to Tokyo Tower, which is that sort of Eiffel Tower looking structure. So overall, it's a great hotel. We've always really loved it. A few other FAQs about Japan this time of year. The weather is going to be in the 60s to 80s. It is the start of the rainier season, but Japan doesn't experience like full constant rainy days. It tends to experience sort of a short downpour in the afternoon. So we try to arrange our day trips around that, where we'll leave a little earlier in the morning, get lots done so that by that afternoon, we're either in our transport back to the hotel or it's our free time before dinner. That way, we're not caught out in the rain, but you should plan to bring a raincoat for this trip. Part of the benefit of going in June is that it is less crowded with tourists than peak season, which is like April, May, and September, October. The activity level for the trip is pretty moderate, so it's a 3 out of 5 for us. That means 3 to 4 miles walking on the tour days, but it's a leisurely walk. You'll have lots of breaks as you complete the day's guided trip. We also are going to be going in and out of train stations, in and out of temples, and using public transit, which may require some stairs. There are obviously elevators and escalators, but sometimes those can be hard to find or create a longer walk. So we do want to make sure that everybody who's participating in the trip feels comfortable going up 2 to 3 flights of stairs unassisted and walking 3 to 4 miles throughout a day. And that would mean that you're definitely more than able to participate fully in the trip. There are no visas for US or Canadian travelers. So if you are a US or Canadian citizen, you just land in Japan and there's nothing that you have to fill out or have to have pre-purchased. And then the trip price is 7,295 in single occupancy. Our trips are standard for single occupancy, so each woman gets her own room at this hotel. You'll also have daily breakfast and dinner included. You have 5 lunches, so lunch every day besides the free day is included, as well as all of the transportation, the guiding, the Passmo, subway tickets, and all of the activities mentioned in the itinerary. So I will open it up to any questions that folks have at this point.
I have a few questions.
Yeah,
You said there's 2 spots left. How many spots are there total?
there are 10 spots total for Japan.
Okay, and it's single occupancy. What if you're going with a friend? Can you share a room?
Yeah, we can definitely arrange two twin beds in a shared room. And there is a discount for that. I don't know that off the top of my head, but that is if you wanted to share a room, it's typically a discount between like 700 and $1,000 per person, less than the single occupancy rate.
Okay. Um, I went to Japan once before, and I stayed at a large hotel that had a lot of English speaking staff. Is that
Yeah.
true at this hotel? Okay.
Yes, this hotel has lots of English speaking staff, and it's very centrally located. The service at the hotel is part of why we love it and are going back. Japan overall, as you might have experienced, like Tokyo has decent signage to navigate as an English speaker, but a lot of Japanese people do not speak very much English. So part of what we do for that free day is we kind of help orient you to how to get around. Our trip hosts and our guide, who is local, is going to be able to explain, like, okay, if you want to go to this neighborhood, here's how you would do it on the subway map, so you can kind of get some help and a lay of the land before you go. And then the other thing that works great in Tokyo is Google Translate and downloading the Google Translate um, Japanese language sort of dictionary basically to your phone ahead of time. So even if you don't have service, you can still do voice mode and you can speak into it and it'll translate it. And then, someone else can speak into it and translate it back to you. But my experience with running the trips the last 2 years is that people have been able to get by with English just fine. Younger people in Tokyo definitely speak a lot of English, but other parts of Japan have less English speaking than Tokyo does.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions from folks? Feel free to jump off mute.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one. This is Karen,
Hey, Karen.
and it's going along the language thing. Are there certain phrases that would be really good to know in Japanese?
Yeah, so on our 90 and 30-day calls, we'll talk a little bit about Japanese culture, customs, languages. So there's definitely, some things to learn. Please, thank you, hello, are all good things to know. The other thing that's different about Japan that people often, I think, as an American are shocked by is like, one, people don't talk in public transit, period. So like trains, subways, like they can be crowded with 100 people and they're going to be dead quiet. And so that's something we talk a little bit about of like, as an American, you might be kind of used to wanting to have conversations in the train or talking to your friend on the subway. It's seen as rude in Japanese culture. It's like the public transportation should be a quiet place for people to sit. So things like that we talk a lot about on our 30 and 90-day calls, which are just for the people going on the trip. And we'll talk about that and some other cultural aspects, which can be, again, just confusing as an American or a Canadian to navigate for the first time. But again, that's why we like to start the trip with that guided tour. We'll have the guide with us the whole day, and she'll be able to answer like every single Japanese culture and history question that you could possibly have and walk you through some of the nuances of it as well.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. Terry.
Am I muted?
Nope, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Um, it doesn't include airfare. Can you give some idea about what the airfares run? I guess it depends where you're coming from, but I'm
Yeah.
going from the DC area, which I think is where you are. So,
Yeah, so
yeah.
the airfare typically, again, it'll depend a little bit how soon you buy it, but what we've been seeing from the East Coast is anywhere from like 1,200 to $1,600. Sometimes you can get a little bit cheaper from the East Coast. You're probably going to connect over to the West Coast, so Seattle, LA, San Francisco. Those tend to be the large connection points for people. There are some flights. There might I don't think there's probably a direct flight from IID, but I know there are like direct New York to Japan flights, but they tend to be much longer than if you just fly to the West Coast and then the West Coast to
Yeah, but we're
Tokyo.
slow.
There are also two airports in Tokyo, Haneda and Nayarit, and different airlines fly into different airports. But we can pick you up from either slash both. So,
Hmm.
make sure that as you're don't limit yourself to the Haneda airport is a little closer to the central downtown part of Tokyo than Nayarit is, but we can come collect you from either airport, just as people look at airfare.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm. Any other questions?
Is there a dead? Oh, I'm sorry, I had one
No,
more.
go ahead.
Is there a deadline for signing up? You said you have a 30 and a 90 day. Do you
Yeah,
need
so
for the 90?
it's sort of first come, first serve since we only have the two spots left. Once they're sold, the signups will close, which I would expect that certainly by the end of this month, the trip will be sold out. The trip is confirmed to run with the 8 women already going. So our trips, the minimum is always 4 to 5 travelers to run it. So at this point, Japan is confirmed, it's running. It's just we have up to 10 spots available. And I would say signing up sooner than later is better. There is not a specific deadline, but once it sells out, it's sold out. We do have the 90-day and 30-day calls, so those will be just for the women registered for Japan. Typically, we can add people in the 90 to 60-day window on any trip. If we have a spot available, we'll do our best to be able to, accommodate someone who wants to join a little bit late. But in general, we try to have the group set and everybody be able to join those 30 and 90-day calls. So for Japan, the 90-day call will be, I think, March 23rd or 24th.
Thanks.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah, Susan.
How is the tipping, is it the tour guides that we tip or, how do we do that? Or
Yeah.
who's included in that?
So, two parts. First, all of the tips for all of the guided activities and tours are included. And actually in Japan, tipping is seen as rude. It's not at all a normal cultural practice the way it is in the US or Europe. So we do give our tips to our guide in Tokyo and to our guide in Kyoto, because we're American and we feel that it's important, but the tips are much more minimal. And if you say on your free day, you go and, have lunch at a restaurant, there's no expectation to tip the waiters. And if you do try to, like, there's no even line, right? When you sign a credit card bill, there's not like a line for tips the way there is in the US. There's actually not really a way to tip in Japan other than giving cash. And unless it is a guide, who you've explicitly hired to give you a guided tour, you should not feel any need to tip. And the tips for the two main guided tours on this trip are already included in that trip price. So for Japan, you really won't need any cash. It's a highly cashless society. And so we just recommend having a credit card or a debit card that works internationally. And tap to pay pretty much works everywhere that you're going to experience.
So you don't have to worry about conversion of money or anything like that.
No, as long as your, credit card or debit card will work internationally, whatever purchases you make, they'll just go straight on that card, but you don't need to get any yen out, which is the local currency. There's really nothing, like everywhere you go, you're going to be able to just use your card.
Just like home. I never walk around with
Yeah.
cash in my wallet.
Yeah. Any other questions? Perfect. Well, oh yeah, Diane, did you have a question?
No.
Oh, okay, sorry. Well, I will introduce Tiara, who's here on the call really quick. So she's going to be your main trip host. We have two trip hosts on the Japan tour, Tiara and JJ. And they are the trained members of our staff who accompany the group 24/7. And so, yeah, Tiara, if you want to just introduce yourself, where you're calling from, etc. Oh, hold on. There we go. Okay.
All right, good evening, ladies. My name is Tiara Anderson, as you can see on the screen. I live in North Carolina. I have been with the WTA since 2023. I was once in you all's shoes as I was a traveler with WTA. I traveled with WTA as a traveler to Paris. Um, so if you're interested in the Paris trip, look into that as well because it's really great. Um, and then I ended up moving into the host position. This will be my first time going to Japan. I am very, very excited, and I look forward to seeing you ladies on a trip.
So, like I said, yeah, Tiara and JJ will be your WTA staff, and then we'll have local guides who are local to Japan with us throughout the trip as well. And the goal is really just to keep you all very well on track, all of the logistics taken care of. Tiara and JJ will be able to answer, all of your questions. The other thing that we do for groups is you get invited to a WhatsApp group 30 days before the trip. So you'll be invited to that if you're attending the trip, and we'll use that to communicate both leading up to the trip as well as on the ground with the schedule each day. If you want to go out in the free afternoon and get a coffee or walk somewhere, you can put it in the group chat and say, hey, let's meet in the hotel lobby in 20 minutes. I'm going to go do A, B, or C. So it's a nice way to just keep the whole group connected. And even leading up to the trip, it's a way to get to know each other, sort of share ideas and activities, things you might want to do on the free day. I know last time that we did Japan, there were sort of a few different groups. Some of the women were really interested in calligraphy, so they took a calligraphy class. Some of the women were really interested in anime, and there's like a whole anime district in Tokyo, so they went there. Another woman went to one of the cat cafes. So, there are various things, and we try to match you up with people who have similar interests so that even on that free day, you have company to do whatever activities you choose to do. So, perfect. Well, I will end the call here unless anybody has other questions. You're welcome to stay on the line and I'll be here. But otherwise, from here, if you are interested in registering for the trip, I know some of you are already registered for the trip, which it's great. Hopefully this answered some of your questions ahead of time. For those that are considering it, I will just quickly share how to register. So on the Women Travel Abroad website, you can go to the Japan trip. You can scroll through here and you'll see again our whole itinerary day by day. And then this Book Now page will take you to the registration form. You'll pay a $400 deposit to reserve your spot, as well as filling out this demographic information. And then your balance payment will be due at the end of March, 90 days before you travel. You can either pay in monthly installments, so pay once in February, pay an installment at the beginning of March, and then at the end of March, or if you prefer to just pay it all a bit sooner, there's a small pay in full discount available. But all of the payments just go through our online portal, and you can pay by credit card or by ACH. And if you have questions, you're welcome to call me and I can walk you through the payment process in more detail. So I'll leave it there. I wish everybody a great rest of your evening, and you'll get a copy of this recording as well as a recap email from us tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine.
Perfect.
Thank
All
you.
right. Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.